Okay, I'm gonna try to talk a bit clear as can be, so y'all can you know hear me, of course, because yeah, my phone is a bit, the device that I'm currently operating on is a bit, you know, tone deaf. So I apologize if I sound a bit, you know, too, silent for that. Yeah, I apologize for that. But so I was gonna talk a little bit too before I was gonna get into the subject, the discussion, discussing the topic that we're currently on. You see the thumbnail and title, which yeah, you see the thumbnail and the title, so pretty much. So I won't get into that yet, as you can clearly see in your face, in y'all faces right now. So I'll just because I don't want to talk about when it comes to these topics too. These yeah, when it comes when it comes to these subjects, I don't want to make it, you know, like I said before, make it sound and make it about anything else. Okay, so without further ado, let me spit. Okay, so of course, when nowadays when a wrestler gets released, for particularly of course when when a wrestler gets released, that's when everybody starts to speculate if they go to AEW or not. And pretty much that has been the story of WWE, not really, but talent from WWE going directly to AEW. So I can see why that would always be a high popular discussion among the wrestling community. But it's like in and when it comes to these circumstances, like Jeff is kind of in his catastrophic currently situation, which has been when it comes to these individuals like Jeff, wrestlers like Jeff that have a closet that's so deep, it's disturbing to talk about and go into. So yeah, it's like in these situations, it's like, wow, really, you want to really bring up that now? It's like, come on, at least show a bit, a bit act like you got a bit of sense and emotion. But when it comes to humans, of course, they let sin talk for them, and that's how I feel. That's why I feel the way I feel about humans. But okay, so just before Matt Hardy put his brother, and this is why you know I'm not gonna get that deep, but it's still really just my soul, my crooked anger just rips out from my body, and just like get really extremely pissed about this too. And Jericho has kind of been on that boat lately. He kind of tells you the person that he is, but seeing that Matt put this tweet out, I was like, I mean, celebrities don't surprise me as a whole. So of course we go to see what we see about them on a direct daily basis, particularly social media. And yeah, Matt put that tweet out, and of course, he's kind of signaling the fact that Jeff might go to AEW. And this is a day ago. This is a day ago after Jeff got, I think it was hours ago, even though it's a day ago now, and 2 days ago that Jeff got released. But I think it's probably hours before Jeff got released yet again. And it's like he said, he's the tweet. The tweet he put out was that he said that he was extremely good about the future. And I was like, come on. I looked at it with a face, and I was like, come on. Like, seriously, you gonna put this tweet out? Just like everybody has just been saying about, hey, Jeff he could be going to AEW. Hey, it's all right. Jeff is going to AEW. He got Matt there. He'll be good over there. And like he should. The thing, I'm looking at everybody like, goodness gracious. Like the only thing Jeff needs to be worried about right now is being at home with his family and working on focusing on his health and making sure as if that it's the safest as possible, cleanest and safest as possible. Like Jeff don't need to be further, because of course he's already. I was about to say I couldn't find any injuries at first, but yeah, of course I did a little bit of research too. Before the video and just lifelong, before even having a channel, about injuries, about the wrestlers and finding out everything about that, everything I know about wrestling, but all such a sort. And I'm like, the only thing, Jeff doesn't need to be more of when it has, because it was even earlier in his career that he was getting like a bit sick of it. He was getting sick of it, and he was like, out, and he was like, I'm done. He's like, I'm not, doing this anymore. And obviously, the drugs and the alcohol came into play, like befalling like certain athletes in wrestling, just like sports like boxing and wrestling and UFC, but that's that type of that drugs is most prominent. And it's like I was like, Jeff, Jeff needs to be nursing himself at home. And it also just makes me ball up a fist that even his family try to push it off as if he's fine. I mean, he's doing okay. There's nothing really wrong with Jeff. Like, are you fucking serious? There's obviously something wrong with Jeff. Like, you got the injuries. Of course, being a wrestler, they don't have no days off. They gotta go from boat to boat. Yeah, they don't have a fucking, they don't have a shift break. Get a bit of. I mean, they get days, but like a normal. It's like a normal fucking job though. They on the road 24/7, and that's why wrestlers marry other wrestlers. Just like celebrities, like that's in Hollywood. Actors, musicians, and such, because the normal person can't deal, and in this society, the normal person can't deal being with somebody of such status that has to constantly be on the up and up, and it's like they don't want to deal with that because it creates stress, the constant worry of what they could be doing, and it's like nobody wants to go through with that, and it's just like that you can I understand too why somebody especially like Jeff, the shit he's been through, would be so burned out too, damn near already at that early point in his career. Because let's look it up, yeah. Like I said, like people try to say that, you know, yeah, it could just be, it's physical, man. It's all about physical. Like, yeah, okay, it can, be about that, but, Jeff still, just like recently, just like it's been, off bursts, it's been a bit of, spit bursts, but he's still, whether it's drugs or alcohol, he's doing both. And you know how dangerous that is. He could die. And it's like people not even fucking really worried about it. Like, of course, when people say, and also just really, I just laugh at that shit, and it just like really triggers me off when people like to call themselves fans. But okay, you a fan, but really, what is the support when you're really worried about somebody and they could be going through such and such? You're not with them 24/7, so you don't know what they're going through. And it's like they say, well, and when they do pass away, or something, dangerous spirals out of control. That it's like R.I.P. R.I.P. Everybody puts out R.I.P. and then they move on. Like that shit is so severely fake. I can't stand that shit. But yet everybody's a fan. But we can look it up too. Of course, the injuries he's had, just like the drugs. He's had a long history of. And there's a video. I mean, yeah, it was videos all over the place, but this particular video, what you see, somebody is clearly in denial. Just like many of celebrity supporters, they like, I mean, you can't hold that. Like, I know how it feels too. I'm not bashing Jeff. Like, people try to hold, someone they obviously look up to. See, look, but people try to hold a standard to somebody they look up to, like they can't do no wrong, and you can't think like how you going to think with that mindset? I mean, I understand why, because we in a society which we don't, that doesn't really garner us to think, and most of us are not really aware of what's going on around us. But like come on, man, like I say, like you don't have to, like we don't necessarily have to think that way, but you have to think of the obvious and what most likely could be going on. And yeah, like that even indicates more signs of he was just drunk, because recently, 2 years ago, I mean, he could have been doing drugs too, but just not 2 years ago, that span from 2017 to 2019, which he's been pulled over, he's been arrested, DUI, for being drunk. And what do you call that? Him just like being Jeff, where he was just completely down? No, that's what that contributes to what has been a lifelong of him having drug issues. Many others, like Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall, most notable, they was a victim of it too. So also, look, like he's clearly, capable of, look, he's walking around. Like if he was really, in physical, I mean, you don't have to really show it like that, but yeah, if he was really much more physical and hurt, then he would be, showing it as well. Yeah, he just, looking up and, signing autographs, shaking people's hands, and he walking away perfectly. That just shows even more signs of him, like it was clearly not, him being just exhausted. Like, well, he was clearly could possibly, which, most likely be drunk. It's like people people want to be in extreme denial and push it away as if no, people are like, well, it could just be a physical. He could just be a physical pain, but he gets so much, exhaustion for being in a match. Like, no, you can clearly see. I mean, yeah, it can at times. It don't have to, you don't have to show signs. But being in that sport too, you would have to show. Yeah, he would definitely, If he was that severely injured, then he would be showing it. But you can clearly see he's walking around perfectly fine. I don't know why, you know, y'all out here, y'all show these videos of him showing, he's in physical pain. But okay, where's the pain at? Where's the pain? Any evidence of him being in pain? If he was that in severe pain, like where is he showing it at? And it's like he's perfectly walking around, bro, capable of and being able to being able to handle himself. It's like you can clearly see that he was drunk. Come on. Which is why they sent him home. And furthermore, they tried to offer him rehab, which he declined, which he did numerous times in the past. Well, you could try to say that too. Oh, that's just, they tried to offer him rehab, which he clearly doesn't need, because he doesn't need rehab, which is physical rehab, not drug related, and not drug related at all. And that could clearly, y'all, who are y'all kidding yourselves? Like I said, I don't know him too, but that's, like I said, he has a history of it, and he's been caught for it. Arrested and documented too, as a result. And it's like, why are y'all going for somebody that y'all clearly don't hang out with or watch over? Like, y'all not with him to see what he's doing. So why are y'all acting like this? Y'all not his overseer. And, it just bugs me too that I'm yet again talking about this other fact that clearly like everybody acting like Jeff is okay, and it's not the fucking fact. When it's these circumstances, and these certain circumstances, when people try to say like a person they're okay, they just need some time away, or they they'll get over it, man. It's not fucking that. It's clearly something's wrong with them, and they're going through tremendously a lot. And obviously, when they do things like this, it's even more of a sign to cry for help. I can't stand shit like this. And if people want to just act like they care all of a sudden, but after the bad shit occurs, like fuck, even more bad shit, much more worse comes under the falls. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, people always look as if. It's like, that's what I said. Like, you don't need Jeff is should be exactly where he should have been at, instead of wrestling, and just instead of being in much more pain and further worsening it. He should have already been in a place, put himself in in a position, on a journey to further benefit and clean up his health. It's like people should be like encouraging him, or at least telling him and encouraging him to do it. That's like, you can't. I get that too. You can't really tell a grown man, even if you're his family related to him or not. But it's like, yeah, you can at least try to find a way. You can at least try to find a way, or act like it's not everything is fucking okay. And try to paint it as if just because you just don't want any I understand you don't want it, then just don't talk about it too, because the community, the supporters, they don't need to be, the wrestling community, any community, they don't need to be knowing about somebody 24/7. That's another problem. People always telling, especially these days, out of hand. People always telling about their business. So Jeff need to chill. Jeff need to chill it at home, and Matt need to chill it out with that shit. And Jeff need to kick back on his feet at home and look after himself. I'm done with that too. Like, I didn't, I've like I said, or if I already didn't already, I've grown up. I've grown up, particularly because I've been a little bit through the Attitude Era. And finally going back at a certain point in time to go back at it. But most of the time I really I grew up in the ruthless aggression era, and that's my era, and that's the wrestlers I grew up on. And Jeff the Hardy Boys was one of them. And it's like he's already had a point where he's known. He's a legend, and he's a legend in his own right, and he is a legend among the wrestling community. One of the pioneers. So it's just like he doesn't need to further just. I know WWE has a habit. Of course, they're gonna drag whatever they need, everybody they need that still has a face to show that gets asses in chairs. But it's like come on, I don't want to see either. I want to look at Jeff to say I don't want to see you in the ring any longer. It's like you need to look after and take care of yourself. Like physically and health wise. It's just like this being constantly in the ring on the road too, it's not helping you. So Jeff's like serious like I said, like all that like hush shit and people talking about he should go to AEW, man. Like they clearly go on there. Like no. Jeff doesn't need all that. Jeff needs to be taking care of himself. And I wanted to show y'all too, I almost forgot too. But this I found this too. This is basically an article too on, his timeline of him, the injuries, constant injuries. Cause yeah, he's like I said, he's basically one of the pioneers too of wrestling and just one of the those premier daredevils, high flyers that would just take hellacious fucking risk, and Jeff was definitely one of them. If the first, the most recognizable for it. What TLC matches, ladders, 20-foot SWAT and bomb drops off the fucking ladders, stage dives. It's like, come on, man. It's like I understand that of him being burnt out already by that point, because you can only do that. Even if you have, to try to, put that, try to blur it out, it's gonna catch up quickly eventually to you. Like you gotta avoid that forever, whether you're trained or not. But yeah, this is basically yeah, like I said, it was even happening earlier in his career. Like, erratic behavior, the drugs, not wanting to go to rehab. And like I said, that's all up to him, basically. But, if you still want to be where you want to be, that's what has to happen. And personally, too, like, if you talk about it too, like I understand, like I constantly, let me talk about that, in a minute, but yeah, it's like erratic behavior, drug use, refusals, him not wanting to go to rehab, as far as his ring abilities going, him being able to perform in the ring, it was starting to fatigue him. And he was being late too. He wasn't showing. He was showing events and everything like that. It's the same thing as that he's still doing now. All this. Yeah, he tried to. He tried to he said it was like it was like because he didn't want to wrestle anymore. But yeah, it was still because of the fact too, because other issues that he had well within himself. So, and it could be, his childhood plays a part too. Because, it was a part of his childhood too. Because, his mother, we'll get into that too a little bit before we go off, before I eventually leave. But yeah, he was doing it in TNA as well. And that's documented in it too. This ain't fake. Everybody who obviously knows too, if you really, have your research and, knowing everything you know about wrestling, right? Then you already know this. yeah, he did. He was doing the same thing in TNA. He was, not no showing events, being influenced by drugs or whatever. It was just like TNA wasn't having it either. And then he went back to WWE, and he kept doing the same thing. I guess back then, back in '03, still very early in his career, it wasn't as no. I mean, everybody knew who the Hardy Boys was at that point because they came in was it '99 and 2003. He was pretty much a bit known at that point, but he didn't really reach global stardom until 2008, and that's when he became WWE champion. But he was still being he was that's when they WWE after the steroid trials and just that after the steroid trials, Vince being prosecuted, really the FBI being way up his ass. They had that wellness policy violation, which Randy Orton and a few others just being caught up in it too. That if you had something within your bloodstream, that they was gonna tell, and he kept getting suspended too, 30 days, 60 days, yeah. I mean that's when his home was destroyed too. Like he was like Jeff obviously he was probably going through a lot. Like I said we're not there with him 24/7, but like I said, you also had to state the obvious too and make it as if that he can do no wrong, as if that WWE was in the wrong. So yeah, like I said, and recently too. That's when he, on 2008 to 2009, earlier that he was, getting arrested too still. And that's when he went back to TNA, and he was, like Jeff was like, this is not like, years apart. It didn't stop. This is like a string long, year after year, months after month of him just, being caught up and still being, whether it's suspended, no showing events, being under the influence. Like if I try to say if it's like fake or not, this is recently, 2 years ago, not that long ago, where he was just getting arrested, being under the influence, doing damage to somebody's car, or whether he was like, he got in an accident. Yeah, so it's like I said, like this ain't fake, or it's just like it's not, it's not, you can't make up any excuses for him not, like you can't make up excuses for somebody else that they have issues. You can't make up excuses for any other wrestler to try to say for your fave because you favorite them, and you look up to them. That's they can't do no wrong in your eyes. But when cause people was giving shit to Jimmy when he got a DUI, and he obviously was getting drunk too. He got probably issues with himself too. But it's like people was all on his fucking head, crucifying him. And it's like when it comes to Jeff, Jeff is the holy savior. He's like that's Jeff. He can't do no wrong at all. And it's like that's hypocritical shit. That's what I say. But that's all about just worshiping. And that's what y'all love some celebrities so much. And like I said, I'm a lover of wrestling. Like I would die for wrestling any day. This ain't a diss towards or any disrespect shown towards Jeff or his family at all. It's just the fact that people bringing up fucking AEW and not want to come realization with the fact that Jeff has issues, a lifelong history of it too. And it's like you can't excuse that or try to deny that when obviously that's clearly what's the key indicator for him for his recent behavior or him just clearly acting like this. So I just wanted for the last time I'll clearly probably in the future re-talk on this talking about his career, but that's all I had to, I just wanted to bring that, bring this to your attention, of course, and just because shit like this also just completely, completely ranges off my anger meter. So yeah, I'll see y'all. Wish I could have got more out for y'all, but I was robbed of my day today. So tomorrow, definitely, of course. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I hope y'all enjoyed your day. That's what I said, and I'll let y'all know about what I was about to say too. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it now though. Just seeing it. So if you know, you know. But yeah, so stay blessed. I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Stay blessed.